The sound was soft. Almost nothing. Just the subtle creak of a floorboard outside the bedroom door. Jungkook's eyes fluttered open. He hadn't really been asleep, not fully. Sleep had become a luxury he no longer owned. Not in this house. Not in this version of love. Not when trust felt like a ghost brushing past his skin every time Taehyung turned away. He glanced at the clock. 2:08 a.m. The hallway light was off, but he saw the faint glow reflecting against the wall, blue, flickering. Phone screen. Jungkook rose slowly. Quietly. His heart already knew what his eyes were about to confirm. He padded toward the door, careful not to let it creak. From the narrow crack, he saw him, Taehyung, leaning against the hallway wall, barefoot, hair messy from sleep, and fingers typing rapidly. His face was tense, focused, jaw clenched. And then Jungkook saw it. Taehyung opened a chat, scrolled, held his finger down on a message, and then delete. Message by message, thread by thread, erasing something, someone. Jungkook's breath caught in his throat. He backed away from the door, chest rising and falling like he'd been punched in the lungs. He didn't need to know who it was. Yeonwoo. Maybe others. What mattered was Taehyung was hiding it. Not explaining. Not apologizing. Hiding. He wasn't trying to fix what they had. He was just trying not to get caught again. Back in bed, Jungkook lay still, his body curled into itself. He heard Taehyung come back in minutes later, heard the phone slide onto the nightstand, the sheets shift, the bed dip. Taehyung didn't reach for him. Didn't ask if he was awake. Didn't say I love you. And Jungkook? He didn't cry. Not this time. He just stared into the darkness and let the silence drown him. Because when the person you love starts protecting their lies more than they protect your heart, you begin to grieve them while they are still right beside you. And the worst part? You pretend to be asleep while the love you gave dies quietly in the hallway at 2 a.m. It started with silence. Like it always did now. Dinner sat untouched on the table. Taehyung's plate cold, untouched, just like the space between them. Jungkook had stopped asking where he was going. It hurt less that way. But tonight, he couldn't hold it in. Are you even trying anymore? Jungkook's voice cracked the stillness like thunder. Taehyung, seated across from him, didn't even flinch. He set his phone down slowly, eyes narrowed, jaw tight. Don't start. I'm not starting, Jungkook replied. I'm responding. To days of feeling like a stranger in the home I built with you. To the lies you won't stop telling. To the parts of you I no longer recognize, Taehyung scoffed. I come home, don't I physically? Yes. But you left me a long time ago, Tae. The nickname slipped out. It still tasted like love on Jungkook's tongue. But there was no softness in Taehyung's eyes anymore. Just exhaustion. Or maybe indifference. I can't do this every night, Taehyung muttered, standing up. You mean the part where you get confronted and refuse to answer? Jungkook followed him toward the door. Or the part where you walk out so you don't have to feel guilty? Taehyung's hand paused on the doorknob. You're making this toxic. Jungkook let out a bitter laugh. I'm making it toxic? I begged for your attention. I begged for honesty. You gave me lies, cold shoulders, and a phone full of secrets. And now you're calling me the problem? Taehyung turned, eyes sharp now. Maybe if you weren't so suffocating, Jungkook whispered, voice cracking. I'm drowning in this relationship. And you're the one holding my head under. That did it. Taehyung yanked the door open, muttering, "I'm done for tonight," and he left. Just like that. "No, I'll be back. No, I'm sorry. No, I love you." Jungkook stood there, frozen in the doorway, watching the hallway swallow Taehyung whole. And for the first time, he didn't wait. He didn't call. He didn't cry. He just went to bed, wrapped himself in a blanket that still smelled like Taehyung, and stared at the ceiling until the sun rose. Taehyung didn't come home that night. He returned at 6:32 a.m. Jungkook heard the door open, keys hit the counter, shoes slide off quietly. But he didn't move. He pretended to be asleep, again. And Taehyung didn't even check to see if he was awake, because the scariest part wasn't that Taehyung didn't come home. It was that he didn't think Jungkook was worth coming home to anymore. The morning was colder than usual. Not in temperature, but in presence. Jungkook moved around the kitchen quietly, the kettle hissing behind him. The mugs clinked gently, but the sound only echoed the hollow space between two people who used to talk about everything, who now couldn't even look each other in the eye. Taehyung sat at the dining table, eyes locked on his phone. Again. Always. Last night's silence hadn't led to clarity. Just another layer of ice over a wound Jungkook had stopped trying to bandage. He couldn't take it anymore. "Where were you last night?" Jungkook asked, tone calm, but not soft. "Not anymore." Taehyung didn't look up. "Out, I know that part," Jungkook replied. "I asked where. And with who?" Taehyung finally met his eyes. His face unreadable. "With some people from work." Was Yan Wu there? A flicker. The smallest twitch in Taehyung's expression. Jungkook caught it. "I saw the message," he said, voice low. "I saw the way you smiled when you read it. You didn't even flinch. You've stopped trying to hide how much you enjoy the attention." Taehyung sighed and stood up, rubbing his temple. "It was just texting, Jungkook." "You're overreacting." There it was. The sentence Jungkook had feared would come. He swallowed hard. "If it was just texting, why did you delete it at 2 a.m.? Taehyung froze. "You think I didn't see you?" Jungkook asked. "Standing in the hallway, erasing pieces of yourself like they weren't already tearing me apart." "I didn't cheat on you," Taehyung snapped. "I haven't touched anyone, but you've touched them with your words. With your time. With the parts of you that used to belong to me." "That's not the same." "It is," Jungkook whispered. "It's not just about bodies, Taehyung. It's about loyalty. About respect. About protecting what we built, even when no one's watching." Taehyung looked down, his hands curled into fists at his sides. He didn't argue. But he didn't apologize either. And that was worse than anything he could have said. "Do you even love me anymore?" Jungkook asked, voice barely above a whisper. Taehyung didn't answer right away. When he finally did, it was too slow. "Of course I do." Too slow. Too uncertain. Too late. Jungkook nodded, a bitter smile curling on his lips. "Then why does it feel like I'm always the only one fighting for us?" Taehyung didn't answer. Because deep down, they both knew. He wasn't fighting anymore. It wasn't dramatic. There were no slammed doors. No shouting. No tears. Jungkook didn't want to leave in pieces. He wanted to leave with whatever little dignity he had left. That morning, he folded his clothes quietly into a duffel bag. The same one Taehyung had bought for their Jeju trip a year ago. His hands moved gently, carefully, like if he made too much noise. The illusion might shatter. But it already had. Taehyung had left for work without a word. No kiss. No see you later. Just silence. Jungkook had stopped begging by now. And that was the scariest change of all. Because when someone like Jungkook, who loves deeply, fiercely, endlessly, stops asking you to stay, it's not out of peace. It's out of heartbreak. By the time the sun dipped low into the sky, casting golden light across the living room they once decorated together, Jungkook stood by the door with his bag over his shoulder. One last look at the couch where they used to fall asleep tangled in each other. At the kitchen counter where Jungkook had waited night after night with food going cold. At the hallway where Taehyung had deleted his secrets in the dark. And then he left. He didn't leave a note. He didn't send a text. He knew Taehyung would notice. But he also knew Taehyung wouldn't chase after him, not right away. Maybe not at all. Because the truth is, Taehyung had been letting go for months now. Jungkook had just finally decided to stop holding on alone. That night, Taehyung came home and noticed it immediately. The duffel bag missing. The closet half empty. The quiet echo of a space no longer shared. He found a photo still left on the bedside table. One from when they first moved in. Jungkook smiled radiant. His arms around Taehyung's neck. Taehyung had been looking at him like he held the entire universe in his eyes. Now, the only thing left in the room was the frame. And the echo of everything he took for granted, because when Jungkook left, he didn't do it to be noticed. He did it because he finally realized, love isn't about who you stay with. It's about who stays with you, even when it's hard. Even when you're distant. Even when you're difficult. And Taehyung didn't. So Jungkook walked out, not to teach Taehyung a lesson, but to stop forgetting how much he deserved to be loved right.